foundationally, you need to understand your base level knowledge.
Yes.
Go solve some problems with that, so that way that knowledge becomes second nature to you, and you don't have to think through it or work hard to then solve that set of problems.
Yeah.
The moment that it becomes, oh, okay, cool, I can do this subconsciously, I can do this in my sleep, that's kind of that trigger where, all right, now it's time to learn that next level of something. I've seen this in, the people that I attract, prevalent concern, issue, obstacle, whatever it is. Let me go learn how to solve that, because 80% of my clients present with that, or I want to be able to advertise, or I have an opportunity to go do the thing, and I ethically know I can't solve their problem, because now's the time to make that next investment.
Yeah.
And then your base level knowledge is just like, yeah, cool, no problem.
100%. And, I really love that Hicks law, basically paralysis by analysis. If you have too many options of things you could do and you haven't had practice with any of them, it's going to take you longer to make a coaching decision, right? And so when we think and we peel that back, it's because there's this thing of, when we kind of think about competence, we have unconscious incompetence, and then we have unconscious competence. And there are things in between where, at the end of the day, when you think about pro athletes and you watch them play these games, they obviously don't look like they're thinking at all. Everything's just super fluid, it's instinctive. They're in this psychological flow state. So then how do we go from not knowing that you're really bad at something to then becoming aware that you are bad at something, or conscious competence, to then working on that skill and practicing it and applying it in a myriad of situations until you then become consciously competent, where you can do it well, but it still takes you bandwidth, and then to do it so much that it becomes unconscious and you're able to do it well before you stack the next thing in there. And that would be what I would suggest. And that's when we talk about information integration. How do you take something that you don't know? I don't know marketing. Okay, well, I do know personal training. Well, then you would want to then become, consciously competent in marketing, and then have your systems done for you, done with you, what we mentioned in a previous episode, and you want to go and execute against that. And so, education is valuable to the degree that you can apply it, but, I think that saying you should have more clients and certifications, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. But I will say I've spent money on over 70 at this point. Don't do that.
When I first, shortly after meeting Andrew for the first time, still one of my favorite moments, because it was a great way to start off a presentation in front of a room.
Oh God.
But also hysterical, but also just kind of, to an extent, one of those, don't be Andrew.
Don't
but he shows up on the screen, and now keep in mind, this is a 30-foot by 20-foot screen. It's a
big presentation
big
hall.
Screen.
Yeah.
I'm in the back, and there's 200 people, and there's not a massive ballroom thing, but it's big enough. So I'm a solid 80, 100 feet away from the screen, and he starts off with this whole here's all my certifications, and literally it's 67, 73, something up there, listed out line by line, and I'm like, I got good eyesight, but I can't read them all. And it's just, it was funny because it was very much like this proof of, hey, I know what I'm talking about. But in a situation, Andrew's teaching other people to be better at these skills. But at the same point, most people go down this road of, I need all these certificates. When I was doing personal training, I formally went for, I did a weekend, then I did my full NASM because I got to get paid more.
Yeah.
Then I did a corrective exercise specialist in that order. But it took me 1 year to do all three of those. And I believe I had a book of 25 to 30 clients.
Yeah.
I was redlining that. And I never wanted anything more than CES, because I was like, everybody, we go get a certification, you can go advertise more. I'm like, I don't need to advertise more.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Although we do have a handful of certifications that if you just were so inclined to purchase as business owners, we'd appreciate, but you may not necessarily need those skills right now. It can definitely confuse you and add noise to the situation. And to revisit Steve's story here, the context that's missing a lot of time, because there's context. People don't do crazy shit. People do stuff that makes sense to them. I had never spoken on a stage in front of over a group of 70 or 80 people. So this is the biggest group I've ever spoken to. Most of these people didn't know who I was. And so I had to find a way to basically not pull, my metaphorical thing out and put it on the table, but I needed a hint that I was competent. And so I said hey, I don't have an original thought. Here are all the certifications that I've ever taken, and this is probably where a lot of the things that I say and talk about come from. So I was trying to credit.
Oh, we got to.
That was the whole thing.
The not original thought is actually a really. Join us on our podcast episode where we actually talk about nothing is really new today. There's some science and research and proof and whatever, but we're going to break that down because I got a fun rabbit hole to get at. But
oh yeah,
I agree, but the story's funnier.
The story is funny. Andrew's a dick. He's an egotistical prick. Look at his certifications. No, I'm not crazy. I just want you guys to know I've invested heavily in my education, and I don't feel bad suggesting that people do the same. But I will say that, and tongue-in-cheek aside, I think I've invested in over 77 different courses and experiences and like certification things where I got a piece of paper, and I'm working on a doctorate right now. And like, I would say that exactly what Steve did originally would be what I would encourage most people to do is go and do the certification course and then make your money back using that skill before you buy something else. And that, by the time when you think about personal training, for instance, most personal training certifications will cost you, if you're doing a $99 action certification, which is literally just the test, it doesn't really say anything about your ability to coach. You're not going to learn anything. And I've seen ones that run upwards of like $1,300-ish. I think NASM has like an elite kind of bundle thing. And so theoretically, you would want to make $1,300 in personal training before you then bought something else, because that would give you some time to work through that.
There's a company that we know that I think they charge $15,000 for their personal training fitness certification. It was built by a doctor of chiropractic and everything.
Okay.